You wanted to know who I am? Well, let me explain the New World Order. Governments and corporations need people like you and me. And all those other people out there who have no idea what's going on are the cattle. Moo.
Have you joined a movement today? Moo. Thanks for joining us. I wish, folks, that I could be more creative in the way I'm presenting all of this to you. I should have written a script for this. You know I don't do that. I just really got in yesterday, battered like a cork on the ocean of so-called truth, and I'm not the same. Once again, going and doing a giant event has changed me, and I'm not sure it's changed me even in a good way. I don't know. But we had hella problems with TSA getting back through L.A. Here I am walking, okay, on a almost a cast, a pseudo cast, a boot, limping along, and TSA took my cane for my safety. So now I'm caneless. I don't even have a cane to walk on. Because that's what TSA does. They take the cane from disabled people. They harass disabled people because they can't find any real terrorists. And it is shameful. We had a really good time in Los Angeles. I want to thank Warren Cucurullo, who was an amazing, superb host. The first night we were there took me to an opening of Joe's Garage. That is a play of the album, back when they used to make records. Joe's Garage, which Warren played on, and I got to meet the entire Zappa family. They were amazing. The play was amazing. Anybody get a chance to ever see that, whether it's in L.A. or on the road, man, do yourself a favor. Go see that play. Warren was a fantastic host and a hardcore, fearless info warrior. If you could have seen him in action as Dylan and I did, just somebody I have the utmost respect for. Whether we agree or not on all of our ideas, doesn't matter. Somebody who really just doesn't care what the consequences are. So when I'm trying to put this all in perspective, it's difficult for me. I'm still in a little bit of shock, as I know Cindy is. She'll be on the show tomorrow to talk about this. We are in a state of shock. Because first it just appeared that this festival just totally caved into the authorities, to the political pressure, getting rid of all of us. And you can see, I mean, obviously, we have a message that the authorities are deathly afraid of. This is why they didn't put us on the stage. This is why they didn't let us on the stage. It's their only words. What can we do? What could we say that could cause them so much of a problem? In fact, I had a personal bodyguard with me because I thought, well, maybe some of the things I'm going to say, you know, I'm going to have some Obama Kool-Aid drinkers wanting to kick my ass. I had my own security at this event, which I always do when I go to L.A., because I just don't trust the people out there to have a honorable and peaceful discourse on an exchange of ideas. So I was prepared to take some heat. I was prepared to take some flack. I'm right over the target. The police states of California, where Arnold Schwarzenegger, Bohemian Grove member, is executive in chief. I knew there was going to be some problem. I knew it wasn't all going to be smooth sailing, but to explain to you, to find the words to explain to you how this felt for all of us, how demeaning it was in many ways. Having to beg to go speak at an event that I've been invited to speak at, that I paid my own way to get to. Thank you for those of you who contributed and helped offset those costs, because as of yet we have not been reimbursed for anything, and I'm not sure we will. I hope we will. Maybe we won't. But it's not the money. It's not the humiliation. It is the giant sign on the wall that says no free speech allowed here. And just when I'm thinking, the rock and roll revolution is coming, the cultural revolution is coming, and then I get to see the depths of which that is controlled. And not by the people, not by the organizers of this event, but by the usual suspects exerting their political and police powers over the people having what is basically a private event. How far they would go. I got to tell you, I didn't think the powers that be cared that much about me or even Cindy Sheehan or Cynthia McKinney. They've done a pretty good job marginalizing our messages and keeping us out of the media. I really didn't think they would care that much. And to be honest, if I would have spoke, we had a hell of a speech for these people. I don't know what good it might have done. Might not have done any good. People might went, oh, yeah, that guy's just talking out his ass. Forget about him. Oh, yeah, it's just Cynthia McKinney. She's a peacenik. Oh, yeah, that's just, it's Cynthia McKinney. She's just running for president with the Green Party. Just forget them. How they could marginalize myself and Cindy Sheehan is one thing. How they could marginalize Cynthia McKinney, who's a legitimate contender or legitimate nominee for president of the United States, off of one of the bigger third parties is shocking. So I don't believe that Cynthia even made it to this. I think she, found out she wasn't going to speak and didn't even bother coming down. Cindy Sheehan did come down. And she came down and she was backstage and she heard all of the Obama DJ stuff careening out towards the fields, clips of Obama. Yes, we can. Hundreds of people cheering. There were thousands of people there. Again, what I reminded you of earlier in the story, the police barricaded off. Once they got to about 8,000 or 10,000 people, the police barricaded it off, wouldn't allow any more people to come in, whether they had tickets or not. Barricaded the whole street off. Locked us in, surrounded us. No one can go in, you can only go out. Barely. That's how afraid they are of what we were about to do there. And I thought the fear was somewhat irrational. I don't think they needed to be that afraid. But the fact that they are that afraid shows that we are having an effect. But I got to tell you, this had Obama campaign written all over it. That they are the ones that called the mayor to intercede on this, who told his people what to do and how to respond. That they are the ones that got on the phone with Rock the Vote, who booked a lot of the bands, who continued and perpetuated the threats to the organizers and to everybody that if we spoke, the event would be shut down and they would never get to work with us again. It's access to these people, access to their connections that keeps people spinning like a top. To not only be censored and to allow themselves to be censored by the political establishment, but to self-censor themselves. There's a bigger problem. Johnny and Jane America, there is a much bigger problem, and that's it. That we allow this to happen. That we're either too scared. I'm not going to mention any names, but I did speak to an organizer, and they were scared of what would happen to them, to their event, to their credibility. The paddy wagons pulling up to fill people, taking them to some detention center. They were in fear of what would happen if they defied the order. And I think thousands of kids would have taken care of that. Again, it was a bluff. Fear of losing the connections. Fear of falling out of favor with even the unpolitically correct establishment, the alternative establishment, because there certainly is an alternative establishment in place. Fear overall, which leads to censorship and self-censorship at a free speech event. So Cindy Sheehan arrived. She talked to Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine. He told her, like he has anything to lose. He told her, you can introduce me, but you cannot speak. And she said, forget it. Now, I have a note from her. I guess, can I read it? Should be on the program tomorrow. We the people, you should really be called we the sheeple. I don't really appreciate taking time out of my campaign to go to L.A. to speak at an event which I thought had some integrity. I really don't appreciate being treated the way I was treated, but the way Cynthia McKinney was treated as a candidate for president was unconscionable. Certainly there could have been a better way to handle all of this, but I'm putting myself in the shoes of these organizers who I don't think saw this coming to the level that we did. Stay tuned.